Greetings, Algo Artisans. We're going to take a quick look at what's going on this week, and we're going to jump into the data right now. Okay, so as you know, I'm more or less on a vacation. I'm actually handling some personal items. Not exactly a vacation, but what it does mean is there are less of these kind of videos. I'm still doing the live videos every morning at the market open or just before the New York Open, and I'm still putting out some shorts, but these kind of videos that I usually do for the second video of the day may not happen quite as often, but they will be back to normal shortly. So let's go ahead and look at the data here. We got Tuesday, July 2nd. The job openings was this morning, saw a little action there. We'll just move on to tomorrow since today is basically over. The market's going to close in about an hour and a half. Now we do see some US data coming out early tomorrow, and this will be at 7:15 AM EST, correction 8:15 EST, the ADP non-farm employment change. There's also going to be some more unemployment data and some purchasing managers data coming out. Now after that data, about 4 hours later, you're going to see the FOMC meeting minutes, and if there are any surprises, anything unexpected coming out of this data, the market could move pretty significantly, and that is about 2-3 hours before the market closes. So could bring some volatility partway through the day, could knock people out of trades, or it could give some people some opportunities to trade as well. Thursday is the 4th of July. Basically, everything's going to be closed in the US. It's going to be a bank holiday, and most likely the entire market will be slow. Now, there are elections in the UK, so maybe some UK pairs might do pretty well. At least might have some pretty strong moves. However, not sure how I can time that. In the meantime, on Friday, the market's probably going to be closed. There will be some action at 8:30 AM EST, more unemployment data, and you'll see some Canadian unemployment data coming out. So Friday morning might have some action, but a lot of people are going to be on vacation in the US. So again, the market might be relatively slow that day. And on Thursday and Friday, we will not be doing any of our live videos in the morning. We're going to take that off because most people are taking those days off. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. We're going to start with Bitcoin. And here's Bitcoin. Here's a chart that I drew several days ago. And this is the daily chart. It's actually the 18-hour chart. And as predicted, price did go up to this yellow box and grab that liquidity, right? So I had a nice bounce off the bottom, as I also did predict. And I said the range traders, as soon as price bounced off the bottom here, a lot of range traders simply entered, just got right into this long here, and it looks like that might continue upwards, right? I did predict the price would bounce around kind of low until it popped up later, just based on what the algos were saying. So let's take a look first at what the liquidity says, and then we'll jump into the algos. So here's the liquidity map, and the most notable liquidity is going to be right above price, and it's going to be strongest between 62.5 up to about 63.25. So let's go ahead and draw that out. 62.5, so right about here, up to right about here. Let me zoom in so we can actually get a real good look at that. And this is where the liquidity is right now. This is subject to change, and this is all based on leveraged traders, in this case on Binance. If I were to zoom in, this is the most likely place price might go in the near term, because that's where most of the liquidity is, in that range. Now there is a little bit more, a little up higher. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Just a sliver between 64.75 and 65.25. So right about here. A little more liquidity up high, so if price were to make its move up, and it does appear that it's in a bit of a pullback, just a short-term pullback right now, so it's a decent probability that price will grab liquidity and head back up. So I will revise this path, since that was more or less correct but now outdated. And let's take a quick look at what the algos say on the daily. Okay, it looks like price is pulling back just a little bit, but has a good chance at bouncing upwards. Most of these charts are looking for a pullback in price, and the most likely place for price to go right now to the downside is going to be the bottom of the range. It's probably going to be somewhere around 61,000. So it could go lower. There is liquidity down low, but the strongest bit of liquidity is up here, and price algorithmically is in a spot where it may want to bounce. And of course, price action wise, it's a very strong bounce point. That 61,000 has more or less held for quite a long time. Even the break that we had below that did not spend much time below that, and it came back up with a lot of force. So I would expect price to come down to this area, probably 61,000-ish, and then bounce up, maybe take time, maybe not, and then come up to this 65,000 range. And eventually, price probably will make it to the top of this high time frame range, but I would not call that out just yet. I know the range traders are in for this trade, so some range traders might be interested in grabbing this pullback, and again, adding to their longs, building their position to go all the way up to 71, 72,000. And again, V the Gorilla also said last week, according to his data then, that a move up to 72 was very likely, 72-ish area. Since then, there has been more data, and these things do change as more data comes in. So the next time V the Gorilla is on with us, which will probably be tomorrow morning, we'll go ahead and have a look at what happened. We did not have a show this morning due to unforeseen circumstances, so hopefully this can suffice to grab us this update on the market. This is most most likely what I'm seeing in Bitcoin for the next week or two. All right, got a brief look at gold, and I did have a client ask what I thought would happen with gold. Gold does appear like it wants to break out. However, it is in a range. It's range bound down here between 22.97-ish and 23.36. So price may head down before it goes up, or it might just break out of this range and head up. And if price does break out of this range, that we might see a nice long all the way up to about 24.30. So not a lot of action in gold right now. There was a lot of action in gold earlier this year, so price is now consolidating and getting ready to make whatever move it makes next. And I do believe that move on a higher time frame will be up to the mid 2400 range, say 24.30, and that probably will happen sometime in the next several weeks. Could be quicker than that, but it seems like it's going to take, I'd say, at least 2 or 3 weeks, if not longer, for price to get there. And again, it might jump down to this 2300 level and then pop back up. Quick look at the SPY. SPY is just strong. Stocks have been melting upwards, so we do see a lot of movement up. We are at a 1-to-1 from a prior extension, so price is seeing some resistance where it is. However, the algos are bullish, high time frame, and for now I do expect the price to continue to head up. There have been a lot of control mechanisms keeping price from falling, including the ability to crush volatility as price wants to start heading down. And then once that gets bled out, then you have volatility usually to the upside. So there's a decent chance price is going to break out of this, and the targets to the upside for the SPY, the SP500, in this case the SPY, are going to be roughly 558 and 568, and their corresponding numbers over on the SP500. Let's take a quick look at the euro versus the dollar. Euro versus dollar still range bound. Algos are bullish on the daily, slightly bullish. We're seeing a possible breakout of this range down here, where price could break out to the upside and start to look for liquidity that it may find up towards $1.848. So a decent trade, if we see that breakout, might be something along these lines. Nice 2-to-1 trade, could even be tighter. You have a better methodology for stop losses, but this is the kind of trade I would be looking at if we do see a breakout on the euro for all of you Forex heads, right? Let's take a quick look at Solana in the crypto world. Solana looking strong after possible ETF news, right? There were some applications for ETFs for Solana, and a lot of people think that Solana is going to be the next one. Quite possible. Let's go ahead and do some fib crunching, see where the next short-term targets might be. Fib-wise, I'm looking at 159 and 169. That's what I'm looking at. So a good trade on the way up there. It might be a little late to try to get this long, but if you do see a way to get a tighter stop, maybe there's a pullback, something like that, might be able to pull some profit out of this one, right? Just got to have the proper stop loss, and you could, if all the algos line up properly, do it this way. So this is probably how I would take a look in trading on the short term Solana, and as of now I do have a fair amount of Solana holdings. If we go to the higher time frame, we actually had a high time frame bearish look, but a lot of times in cryptocurrency you see this until Bitcoin stops ranging. So as Bitcoin finally stops ranging and decides to move up into its new bear market look, which it probably will do, there's a good chance the price will break this descending top of this triangle here, and price may continue up. And my top high-end targets for the near term are going to be 247 and 293. Those are my high-end targets if we do get a breakout, if Bitcoin breaks above its all-time high of 74,000. And I think that's all we have time for today. I hope this video was helpful. Please come over to algofactory.tech. We teach people how to build their own trading method, otherwise known as an algorithm. You don't have to know how to code, but if you do code, we can put you on the path to where you can build something that trades for you while you're not at the computer. If you just want to trade manually, which is what most people are doing, then that is, of course, something that we can help you do and help you have the capability to possibly extract money out of these markets on a regular basis. And while we do focus on crypto for a lot of these videos, I'm actually primarily a Forex trader, and you got to know that crypto doesn't go forever. It goes for about a year and a half, and then for a couple of years, there's not much going on in crypto. And if you want to be a trader, you're going to want to understand how to really trade, how to put on those big boy pants, because what's going to happen is eventually crypto's going to flatten out, and the meme coins aren't going to be what they used to be, most likely. I've seen it enough times. I've been in this game since 2017. I don't expect that to change. So come on over, learn how to trade. As a matter of fact, we got some pretty happy customers who are already down the path of success in their algo building. Let's hear from one of those right now.
Hey, Cowboy V, I just wanted to give a heartfelt thanks for putting this project together. I initially joined Algo Factory a year ago, concerned about a repeat of the 2008 great financial crisis and the prospect of losing my job again. Within 12 months, under V and Cowboy's expert tuition, including live reviews, I've created a profitable algorithm launched across a selection of assets. Now, facing the prospect of redundancy and a nice fat severance package to trade with, my current worst case scenario is to keep my job. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate what you've done here.
Don't forget algofactory.tech, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you on the next one.